Okay, so I was just listening to this podcast, but more about that later. Um, so when I started this vlog, I hope I was clear that I don't claim to have the answers, but that I am in pursuit of a pretty basic question. How can we help a better world to emerge out of the hot mess we are experiencing right now? I said that I would draw from my faith tradition, the natural world, human history, as sources of inspiration and direction for that question. And in pursuit of answers, I look to many different sources: prayer, meditation, books, including the Bible, music, podcasts, and wherever I can find a kernel of wisdom. Some of these sources are ones that you could pick up for yourself. So every other Monday, I plan to release a recommendation of a resource that might help you on your own journey. Now, I struggle to come up with good titles, but on this one, I'm just going to keep it simple: Reflection Recommendations. Not in love with that name, so if you can think of a better one, message me. Anyway, in this bi weekly segment, I will share a resource that I've read, listened to, or watched that I think you might gain from. And I'll do my best to share why I think it's helpful without giving any spoilers so that you can go pick it up for yourself. And I hope that this is not only a source of inspiration, but I hope that it supports other great thinkers who I would love to lift up. There's some voices that people know and I love them and I connect with them, but there's also some really great folks who are doing some fun things that I think not enough people know about. So I want to share their work with you. And in the post, I will make it as clear as I can where you can get the material. And I want to be transparent that I'm going to do my best to avoid big companies like Amazon or Target and identify smaller stores or companies that are supportive of artists and creators and that are local. So for my first recommendation, I want to highlight a podcast, Divine Intervention, by filmmaker and podcaster Brendan Hughes. His podcast trailer says Divine Intervention is the untold story of a ragtag band of radical nuns in combat boots, wild-haired priests, and their madcap friends who swiftly became accomplished cat burglars in a hell-bent effort to sabotage the Vietnam War. Many went to jail, some betrayed their friends, others fell in love. Across 10 episodes, host Brendan Patrick Hughes uncovers their audacious illegal acts: scaling walls, picking locks, destroying draft cards, harboring a draft fugitive in a church sanctuary, and trading blows with Edgar Hoover. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about the 80th anniversary of the death of Dietrich Bonhoeffer. He was the patron saint of this movement. He saw the world on fire and felt like he needed to do something, that his faith required him to respond. The folks talked about in this podcast felt the same way in their opposition to the Vietnam War. And I feel like that with what is happening in our country right now. In full disclosure, I have met Brendan, the podcaster, and one of the main characters, Marianne, is a member of my congregation. I met Marianne in 1994, the same year and at the same community organizing project where I met my husband. From the first time I encountered her, I was captivated by her story and all of the work that she has done in the world. She's one of the first people to teach me about the liberation struggle in Northern Ireland and in the United States. It motivated me to read more, and I finally visited Ireland in 1998 and was really thankful to talk to people with a little bit of context that I learned from Marianne. She has trained and mentored me over the years, and much of what I know about how to bring people together as a facilitator, I learned from her. She is one of those folks like Sarah Ann Shaw and Mel King, who I honored a few weeks ago, who have both passed on. She is one of those people, Marianne, that I have been so blessed to learn from. Also, in this time, when it feels like my worst fears for our country are being realized, it's really helpful for me to remind myself that we are not the first folks that have felt strongly that our country is moving in the wrong direction. It is not the first time that Christians have felt like the church was going in the wrong direction or not standing up for its beliefs. It is not the first time that the challenges in our nation have been playing out in our neighborhoods. Folks felt all of these things before, and they found the courage to do something about it. And many times, We are the beneficiaries of their action and we don't even know it. But we can learn from their examples. So this podcast looks at a specific history that connects with my faith tradition, is based in my own neighborhood. And it's fun to listen to because he is not kidding when he says that there is a great love story unfolding in the midst of it. So if you are looking for something that will give you hope, inspire you to action, teach you some lessons about effective organizing, and keep you thoroughly entertained in the process, then bring on some divine intervention. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts. It is free. The first 6 episodes are out at the time that I'm taping this, and there are 4 more to come. So if enough of you like it, maybe I can get Marianne to join me for a live interview so you can experience her and we can ask her questions. The podcast is amazing, but Marianne has a few more stories up her sleeve about her wild times as a radical Catholic that I don't think made the final cut. So in this time, when we all need some positive excitement in our lives, when we all need to feel hope and inspiration, this podcast definitely has me waiting for the next episode. So I hope you'll pick it up, and happy listening.